Imagine for a moment that you are the main character in a story you didn't write. The rules you follow, the things you believe are normal, even the way you think about yourself. What if all of it was quietly shaped by invisible systems of power long before you were even aware of it? This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's the core of a fascinating and, honestly, a little unsettling idea from a French thinker named Michel Foucault. His work pulls back the curtain on how power works not through dramatic force, but through subtle, everyday influences that guide our behavior until we hardly notice they're there. Foucault's big idea is that power isn't just a bully with a weapon. It's something much smarter and more diffuse. It's in the architecture of buildings, the routines of our day, the language we use, and the very categories that tell us what is normal and what is not. He once pointed out that power is everywhere, not because it embraces everything, but because it comes from everywhere. It doesn't live in one throne or one government building. It's woven into the fabric of our society. And it works best when we internalize it, when we start policing ourselves without anyone even telling us to. You probably recognize that stubborn feeling of being right, that certainty that your way of seeing the world is just the way it is. That feeling itself might be the first clue that this system is working. This connects to a natural tension we all live with, a kind of mental tug of war. On one side is our instinctive, automatic thinking, the part of us that wants clear answers, craves certainty, and holds tightly to what it already knows. It's efficient and helps us navigate daily life without overthinking every single step. But on the other side is a deeper awareness, a capacity to step back and question those very instincts. It's the voice that wonders, wait, why do I actually believe that? Or, who decided this was the right way to do things? Think about your own life for a second. Remember when you realized a childhood belief wasn't quite true. Maybe about a holiday figure, or why the sky is blue, or what it means to be successful. That moment of realization is a tiny fracture in your certain world. It's a glimpse past your instinctive thinking into a broader, more curious awareness. Many of us cling to familiar ideas because they feel safe. They give us a sense of identity and place. Letting go of them can feel like losing a part of ourselves, which is why it's often uncomfortable to question the things we take for granted. This is where Foucault's perspective becomes so powerful. He shows us that the systems around us, schools, hospitals, corporations, even social media, are designed to promote certain kinds of behavior and discourage others. They create norms that tell us how to be a good student, a healthy person, a productive employee. Over time, we absorb these norms so completely that we mistake them for our own personal choices and truths. We start to believe we want to strive for that promotion, or look a certain way, or organize our time based on productivity metrics, without seeing the external pressures that made those desires feel natural in the first place. So how do we sometimes fool ourselves? We tell ourselves we are completely free, all the while following scripts written by invisible authors. We celebrate our individuality while unconsciously conforming to trends and standards set by the culture around us. We might dismiss a new idea not because we've truly considered it, but because it doesn't fit the established truth we've accepted from authorities, whether that's a news channel, a political leader, or the consensus in our social circle. Foucault invites us to be archaeologists of our own minds, to gently dig into why we think what we think, and who might benefit from us thinking that way. This isn't about falling into paranoia or believing that nothing is real. It's about waking up to the mechanisms that influence us, so we can engage with them more consciously. The first step in fighting back is simply to notice. Notice the routines you follow without question. Notice the labels you accept about yourself and others. Question what is presented as simply the way things are. When you do that, you begin to reclaim a bit of agency. You start to write your own story a little more deliberately. This cracks open the entire system, revealing the intricate web of power not as a distant monolithic force, but as something woven into the very fabric of our daily interactions. We start noticing the subtle pressures that shape our behavior, the unspoken rules of the office, the expected norms on social media, the quiet judgments in a supermarket aisle. At first, it feels like a simple revelation, a clear case of us versus them. We see the controllers and the controlled, and it's easy to point fingers at the obvious figures of authority, believing that if we just resist them loudly enough, we will be free. This initial phase is straightforward, filled with the energy of discovering a hidden truth and the simple desire to push back against it. But then, things get complicated. This is the confusing middle, the tough part of the journey that Foucault himself spent so much time analyzing. He warned that power isn't just a top-down hammer, it's a circulating current that we all participate in, often without realizing it. You might be someone who resists change at first, feeling a strong urge to reject this murkier, more complicated picture. Most of us feel uneasy during transitions like this, because the enemy is no longer easy to identify. It's in the language we use, the ways we categorize each other, even in our own desires. We try to break one rule only to find ourselves conforming to another. We critique a system using the very logic that system taught us, and the feeling of spinning in circles can be incredibly frustrating. This is the phase where our knee-jerk reactions, our instinct to either blindly obey or violently revolt, are completely unequipped for the task. They are simple tools for a complex machine, and they often just make the gears grind harder. This is where Foucault's main contrast becomes our most useful tool. He pits the reactive, unthinking response against the thoughtful, strategic practice of freedom. The knee-jerk reaction is a product of the system itself, a pre-programmed answer. The thoughtful response is something we have to consciously build. You may catch yourself pausing before reacting lately, and that pause is the birthplace of this new clarity. It's in that moment of hesitation that we can ask, why do I feel compelled to act this way? Who benefits from me following this impulse? This isn't about finding a single right answer, but about engaging in a constant practice of questioning. The new clarity that emerges from this difficult work isn't a final destination where we're completely free from power.